Happy day after Thanksgiving. Who runs the world? Bankers don't run the world, so who runs it? Hi there, crypto fans. Hi there, remote viewing fans. Happy day after Thanksgiving. Let's have a casual, little relaxed conversation about, and I'm sorry, I only wear shorts. That's probably not a good look. I think we can lose the leg shot. Let's come in a little bit tighter. Zoom in a bit, okay. I talk to a lot of people who are quite intelligent and understand a lot about finance, a lot about the monetary system, and a lot about how the world works. But if you ask them who runs the world, they'll tell you it's the bankers. And that's actually not true. Where do the bankers fall in the great pyramid of the administration of Earth? The banking system actually came from Templars. So it was Templars that were moving money back and forth for higher authorities that needed a better way to haul things than precious metals, which are quite cumbersome. Then it was families. It was like the Fugger family, the de Medici family. But in every case, the bankers were a tool for the higher powers. Money is a current of energy, and bankers direct the current on behalf of their masters. Let me say that again. Money is a current of energy, and bankers direct that current on behalf of their masters. So banking is actually a form of sorcery because they make it out of thin air. So the currency, the liquidity, the flow is guarded and directed by the banks. You get the analogy? Current, flow, liquidity, the banks of the waterway control it. How do the real powers, the bankers are just doing this on behalf of their master, how do the real powers keep control and manage all the complexity of this crazy planet Earth? Who do they have to, do I want to say do their bidding, to make sure the plumbing is working correctly and that people are falling into line under the goals and contracts and requirements that the upper level masters have? They actually have thousands, well, it's actually tens of thousands of agents who get very special training and have a very special intellect. So these are individuals who get military special forces training. They're told the real history of this planet, not the fake history that we're given. They're told the reality of science and consciousness that is hidden from the masses that are taught in universities. They're taught psychology and finance. They know contract law and canon law. They're well-versed in diplomacy and sorcery. So these people are selected at a very young age based on bloodlines. They get special training in all those faculties, from psychology to history to science to finance, and particularly contract law. They're selected and groomed, and they have a career path or a trajectory, and they're monitored and tested at every level of the way. So their loyalty is tested and measured. And as you rise, you get higher levels of knowledge and responsibility. Information, knowledge is power, and that is very compartmentalized. So the higher you go, the more you learn based on your performance. The air at the top is very thin. There's a lot of competition, fierce competition up the higher you go. And these people who do the bidding of the masters are very protected. As they rise, they get more and more protection, and they realize they're protected. But any misstep, any sign of disloyalty will be fatal. So these people travel the world pretty much constantly. If you are anyone of note or merit that are outside of this system, but you show some knowledge or skill in a faculty. It could be music, it could be banking, it could be politics, it could be finance, it could be corporate level. Like you come up with a great idea, you make a better widget and you make $100 million. At some point, one of these specially trained people is going to just have a very polite talk with you. They'll sit down and it'll be just very diplomatic and businesslike, but there will be no negotiation involved. You'll be told what's expected, what's required, what is allowed. And whatever level of pressure needs to be brought to bear will eventually be brought to bear. So when people say, the bankers run the world and we're going to overthrow the evil bankers with cryptocurrency, that is in fact not true. The bankers don't run the world, and cryptocurrency is not going to derail the bankers. It will change the banking system. We're going to have different levels of retail banking and high-level corporate international banking, but it will be run on blockchain and it will be completely auditable. That's the purpose of blockchain, is you can audit every little bit of it. So that's a little bit of a lesson in how the world works and who runs it. I'd be interested to see. I will read all the comments because I know a lot of you will say, oh, Dick, you've sold out to these bastards and you're not going to stand up to them. And I would ask you, and we'll have a back and forth in the comments, who are you going to stand up to? Like, who are you going to fight? And just how are you going to do that? By not taking a digital ID. You already have a digital ID. If you travel or do any cryptocurrency or any banking, you won't be able to do it without a digital ID. The time to talk about a digital ID was about 15 years ago, or before you got into cryptos. So I would like to hear your thoughts. What did you think about this talk? Some of you won't like it. Have a great holiday season. I'll do a follow-up after I read your comments. Aloha from Hawaii.